Hello, in this short demo I will guide you through external website communication feature in CyberRed 360 SDK. But before we go into the sample and implementation itself, let's have a bird's view on this feature. Nowadays it's very uncommon for a system to exist as an island. More often than not, there is need for communication with other external systems. Usually such communication can be achieved using REST or WebSockets. But both of those solutions require some kind of server for handling the communication between two systems. Sometimes only basic data needs to be sent through, and setting up backend solution only for this purpose seems to be a bit too much. This is where the external website communication feature comes in. It is based on Post-Message API, HTML living standard, implemented in all major browsers. It enables cross-origin communication between window objects, for example between a page and a child page opened from it. That's the main use case we had in mind when designing this feature. Normally, scripts on different pages are allowed to access each other if and only when the pages they originate from share the same protocol, port number and host. This is known as same origin policy. The Post-Message API provides a control mechanism to securely circumvent this restriction. Broadly, one window may obtain reference to another by simply using window open, which creates a relation between two windows. Then, the message event can be dispatched between those two windows. Then the receiving window is free to handle this event as needed and send another message back to the parent window. External communication feature is available both in CyberRed Web and CyberRed 360 desktop client. I will focus on web version now, but we'll take a peek at the desktop version later on. Okay, so let's have a look on how to use this feature in your Red app. I've opened up CyberRed app example 3 web cross window sample. You can find it in SDK package under samples directory. So coming from the top of the main TS class, in the init function, we're simply getting the extension point service to create a new button in the Red App side panel. Also we defined to call open modal whenever this new button is clicked. The open modal function itself is responsible for opening up very basic view in one input field where we put in the URL of the site we want to communicate with. After submitting the URL, new page will be opened up and the communication channel will be open. Now we can exchange messages between external web application and CyberRed Web. In this case, we use raw JSON messages. So now back to the actual code itself. The essence of the external communication service is pretty basic. Here we are in the communication view, so the second modal window when you can send message to the external site and the received messages are shown. During the initialization of the modal, we are getting reference to the external communication service. Then we call open window. The open window method will return a function that later on can be used to send message to the child page. The open window function gets three arguments. First one is the URL of the external page to be opened up. Second parameter is the URL that we are expecting to get messages from. In this case we use asterisk. We can receive messages from every source, which is not very secure, but for the demo purposes it has been done because pretty much we don't know what URL will be used in here. And the last one is the listener, so what action will be performed when CyberRed Web will receive messages from the child site. In this case we just getting the data from the event and add it to the text field. And to send message to the child. Here we have the send message function, the one we received from the external communication service. And the only argument in here that we need is the JSON payload to be sent to the child page. When it comes to the external page itself, here in the sample code we have the actual code for one. Again, code itself is pretty basic. First of all, we add the event listener on the window level. We listen for the message event and handle it in whatever way we want to. Then, to send the message to the SRW, we use window opener reference and call post message method that receives string as a data we want to send, and again the exact URL. In this case we again use asterisk for the demo purposes, but once again do not use or in the production code use exact URL you are sending message to. Just like I've mentioned on the very beginning, the feature also works on the desktop app. So in here we open up a new tab inside of the main area, and now in the main window we put in some information, this time more meaningful one, travel itinerary information, and all the data was sent to the external page. And that's all. Thank you for watching. You can find a sample in the SDK documentation, and also check Sabre Dev Studio on guide how to become Red Hat certified provider.